Hello everyone. For the third secondary student, you have an important lesson in the science section, which is a state of matter. Okay, what are the states of matter? How the particles work in the states of matter. What is the shape for every state of matter? What are the examples for the states of matter? I will answer about all the questions. Just follow me and watch the video. There are three states of matter: solid, liquid, gas. I will start with the solid state. The solid state has strong forces. The particles are hardly move, so that it has a fixed shape. The particles also are arranged. The second thing is liquid state. Liquid has a weak forces because the particles are less closely, so that it doesn't have a fixed shape. The particles also are unarranged. The third state is gas. Gas also has a weak forces because the particles are far apart. Also, the particles are unarranged, so that it has no fixed shape. Here we have a molecules arrangement. As I told you, we have three states of matter: solid, liquid, gas. The solid state here, as you see in the picture, in the card, has a fixed shape because the particles, as you see here, the particles are closely tied and arranged. There is no space between the particles. The liquid state has no fixed shape. The particles here, as you see in the cup of water, there is a space between the particles, as you see here. The particles also are unarranged and less closely. Here, the third state, the last state, gas state. As you see in the balloon, has the particles are far apart. There is a very space between the particles, as you see here in the balloon. As I told you before, the gas state has no fixed shape. This is the molecules arrangement for the three states of matter. Now we will turn to the workshop. Here we have a solid state. As you see, the particles has a fixed shape. There is no movement between the particles. The particles also are arranged, as I told you. The particles are hardly moved, as you see here in the picture. This is state, we can call it the solid state. We will turn to the liquid state. Here, as you see, the particles are unarranged. There is a space between the particles, as you see here. As we know, liquid state has no fixed shape because the particles are unarranged and there is a space between the particles. The last thing, gas state. This is the gas state, the particles in gas state. As you see, the particles are far apart. There is a very space between the particles. Also, it has no fixed shape.
because the particles are arranged. Okay. Now in the solid state, if you heat it, it turns immediately into the liquid state. If you raise the heating, it turns into a gas state. Now we will do some activities for this lesson so that we will turn into the experiment. Absolutely, we have some examples about the three states of matter. As you see, in the liquid state, we have an ice, water. Liquid state, the water itself. In gas state, the water vapor. Okay, now I will heat Now we heat the solid state, an ice water. Now it immediately turns into, as you see here, it turns into a liquid state, the water itself. If you notice the drops of water, it turns into a liquid state. We will wait just for 2 minutes. It turns immediately into a gas state. As you see, the water vapor start to raise the water vapor. As you see here in the experiment, the solid shape like an ice water, it turns into a liquid state. Now it will be turned into a gas. If you notice here, the water, you see the water vapor. This is an example of the gas state. Here, as you see, the water vapor start to raise. This is an example of gas state. Now we reached to finish the lesson today, which is the state of matter. This lesson prepared by teacher Abdurrahman Rafiq. Thank you for watching.